So take a look at what I wrote down. You can read it, you can pause it and read it, but basically I was thinking about the five senses. And then I was thinking about storytelling. So for storytelling, like you had the basics, like before books and everything, movies, you started with imagination. And then once you got to language, and once people started making languages, then you got to imagination and sound as words. And then once you got to more advanced language, you got to books. And then you got to, those books were made from imagination, sound, written words, And then you got to movies, which is imagination, sound, and sight. And then you got to video games. Then it became imagination, sound, sight, and then kind of like actions or touch. So I really think that imagination is another sense, because we experience the universe, we experience the world through these five senses. But if you look at like reading and movies, you're using your imagination the whole time, even with video games too. You're using your imagination the whole time while you're experiencing that. So it's like kind of your brain is sensing the universe, And then I just wrote this down. Storytelling isn't complete until we can experience each sense. So once virtual reality becomes a thing and it's more advanced, we'd be able to see sight, we'd be able to hear things in that virtual reality, and then we could be able to smell, touch, and taste that experience or whatever you're experiencing in that virtual reality. So I was just thinking, like, you use all the imagination to experience each of these. When you play a video game, you want to imagine that experience that you're having while being that person in that video game. While you're watching a movie, you want to imagine yourself as those people in those shoes, in there, as those characters, and you'd probably think, oh, you'd make a different choice or you do something else. In books, you'd want to be those characters, or imagine yourself in their shoes, or in books, you'd imagine the whole world. So in the movies, the whole world is through your sight. The whole world is given to you through your sight. And but in the books, you just have you basically only have your imagination. As far as books go. And then when someone's telling a story, you have imagination, but you're experiencing that through sound by someone telling you, and you're using your imagination to sense this another world. So that's why I think imagination is another sense, because you're using it to sense something, to experience something in your mind. And maybe there's more senses out in the world too that we just haven't figured out, because if the world's infinite, then there has to be more senses. There has to be more. There always has to be more. So is it a sense? I don't know. I just wrote this down right now, honestly.